Well, we're really excited to start Southeast Conference play. Have a lot of respect for Texas A&M, and I have for a long time. Got some friends of mine down there on the coaching staff and recruiting staff, and have great respect for Coach Fisher and what he's done since he's been there. And of course, they've won 9 games straight, and just a smothering defense. Very, very, very good defense, and all front end, middle, and back end. Their offense is loaded with skill players. Certainly, everybody knows about Spiller, but they have a lot of talent, and we're excited to go down to Dallas to play this game, and hopefully we can get healthy and be able to go down there and put a good showing on.
Coach, this is a series that Arkansas has actually traditionally kind of dominated, except for these last 9 have been all Texas A&M. Is that something that you bring up with the team, or you just gloss over that and just look ahead?
Well, I think we'll talk about that. The rivalry hadn't been a rivalry, for the last 9 years, that you have to win for it to become a rivalry a little bit more. I know in the past, obviously we have won more than we've lost in the rivalry, but recent years we haven't done so well. I was on a few of those, 3 of those teams. One that we played here when Johnny Manziel was the quarterback, and we started Dan Skipper and Denver Kirkland at guard that night. I remember that because they had been practicing tackle. And I told them, "Hey, you guys are going to start?" And they said, "Well, I can't start over whomever our tackles were." And I said, "I'm not starting to tackle. We're moving to the guard." But and then I believe the next 2 years we lost in overtime down there. But yeah, it's a great rivalry, great for the fans. It wouldn't be a rivalry if it wasn't for the fans. So
they were struggling offensively in the Colorado game 2 weeks ago, and then Calzada came in and led them to the win. What did you see from him from that game to the next game, what they did with him?
Well, he's playing with more confidence. He's more accurate with the ball. They're protecting him better. Seemed like the routes are crisper. I think he's got belief. The wide receivers, tight end, has belief in him. You can kind of see it. However, I really liked New Mexico on defense. They flew around to the ball, played extremely hard, but as well as Colorado. But I think it's just that the second game he had a little more confidence. Looked like he was throwing the ball in rhythm a little bit better, and I think he's a fine quarterback. He wouldn't be at A&M if he wasn't.
Sam, what do you think of their defensive line, and just what do you think about, I guess, the talent that Jimbo's built up there, just overall?
Yeah, and they're continuing to do that too. Jimbo's an elite recruiter, elite coach, very talented. They're a little bit like us in the fact that they can play a lot of people. You want to stay out of 3rd and long. They have nice 3rd down package on defense, and they have some pass rushers they can get home, which they've proven it this year. So we're gonna have to do a good job on 1st down, trying to stay out of 3rd and long, and then we have to have a really good package on 3rd and long if we're in it. You can't just go, well, we're not going to get in it, and then next thing you know, it's 3rd and 10. We have to prepare to stay out of it, and then if we get into 3rd and long, we have to be able to convert, and that's hard to do because they have a nice 3rd down package.
Coach, I've seen some Arkansas games shifted, the momentum shift on kickoff returns. How much has Vito meant to you guys this year?
He's unbelievable. I mean, he's not on scholarship. I've certainly talked to him about that and things. We can retro it back if we decide to go that route. But, it's easy to sit here and go, I'm not going to put a kickoff guy on scholarship. But whenever he goes out there and kicks it out of the back of the end zone, you go, man, how much is this worth? And it's worth a lot. So we've had those conversations, but the way he's kicking the ball is tremendous for us, and it takes that the return game out of it, and we're doing a better job. I think we averaged 43 yards a net punting last week, and with no return yards, and so both we've got to continue to do that.
Coach, Tyson Morris is less than 10 yards away from a career high in yards in a season. You're just going into week 4. Why do you think things are clicking so well with him right now?
He's better, would be the easiest and the simplest and the truth. He's just a better football player. He's played better this year than you can ask him, but probably ever in his career. Because he's playing better, he's playing more confident. I look for him to get full usage of all his talents because he's confident, and he's made some really hard catches. And I talked last week about his blocking ability. He's playing hard. He's becoming a leader. He's become a leader off the field as well, on the sideline. So I think the bottom line is he's not being up and down, and he won't be embarrassed that I say that. He was high, low before this year. Now he's getting the best out of his potential because of his mental outlook of practice and games. He's become a leader. I'm proud of him, real proud of him.
I guess just since the day you got here, what does it mean as a benchmark to have be playing a nationally ranked team where Arkansas is nationally ranked too, where it's a true national matchup?
Guys, to be honest with you, there's a lot of, I'm just the guy, the head coach, and all that, and everybody else does all the work. But the season's so fast that you really don't have much time to, I've thought about us being ranked 16th. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't. And I'm, we're proud of that. But there's not a whole lot of time to really think about it because we still have 1, 2, 6, 13, and 22 on the schedule. And there's not a lot of time to think about it. And the other thing is, I think it'd be wasted time if I did. We've got a really good A&M team to play, but I'm really proud of the team, and I'm proud. To be honest with you, the biggest thing I'm proud of is the state of Arkansas is proud of the football team again. And that means a lot to me, and it means a lot to our kids and our other coaches.
Your thoughts on Dominique Johnson? Is he just getting better and better, and does he deserve more carries?
Well, he keeps running like that, I promise you he's going to get more. I don't know what happened to him, Trey. I wish I could sit here and had the answer. We moved to the tight end, and he was like, look, he got his chance to go back the next day. And he said, hey, I'm going to show you that you don't want to move me, that I'm too valuable here. And he has done that. I never thought, and there's no disrespect to him, I never thought, hey, when we put him in the game, I'm overly excited that, he's in there, but I'm excited. This guy's a good running back, tough, good blocker, and just shows, goes to show you sometimes you got to wait your turn. Extra carries probably could come, as we continue to go on.
Mike Irwin couldn't make it. They want me to ask you about Hudson Henry not getting as many reps. Is he hurt, or is he just current playing that well, or what?
I like old Mike. I do. He's been good to me. I like him. And he's good at his job. But anyhow, Henry was hurt early of last week, and he came back on Thursday. Matter of fact, there was a question that if we were going to travel him or not. And the other kids had practiced all week, and we decided to go with him, then Bax, then Knox, and Kern, then Bax, then Knox, then Henry. And so that basically was it. He had rolled his ankle and he wasn't ready. He hadn't practiced, and we've already proven if you don't practice, probably not going to play very good.
Coach, do you have any update on Ricky and Dalton?
No, I really don't. I haven't seen them. I think it's just going to be. I'll probably know more Wednesday. I don't think either one of them will practice today. No, I'm positive neither one of them will practice today. And then we'll kind of go on with Tuesday, Wednesday. I told Coach Kennedy we better get ready as neither one of them able to play. And that's what we're going to do. I was so proud of Cody and that group because he had them ready last week. And we're going to go back to that mentality. All we got is all we need. And if they can play, we sure as heck want them to, but we're going to be prepared if they're not able to.
Along those same lines, where does Ty Clary practice during the week? You played him at 3 different spots. So what's that look like for him?
He gets action at all 3 of those spots. His least amount of probably reps is at right tackle. He gets those in one-on-one pass pro. There's certainly a big difference of playing tackle and playing a guard. But if you keep him on the same side, a lot of the run game is similar. I'm talking about fits. If you can fit A block, you can fit a B block, so forth. There is a lot more space out there. I understand that. And your pass protection is different. What I really liked about Ty last week, he went to center. His first rep at center, the nose beat him, and he went back and kept him off of KJ. And then the next rep, he did a great job one-on-one with the nose, and we threw the touchdown to Warren Thompson. So I like where Clary's at. Just because he didn't start last week, again, it goes back to everybody has value. He's unbelievably valuable to our football team because he can play any position on the field. And he didn't accept it because that's not the word, because he's still fighting to start, but to do what he did was really remarkable, and certainly happy for him and happy for the team.
Coach A&M gives you a lot of people to defend.
Yeah.
Watermeyer got free, particularly on you last year. So how tough does that make things, and what do you have to do to limit him?
Very, certainly last week was a different deal with play action and things of that nature, but Coach Fisher's been so good with that type of play action and hiding the ball and, where is it and all those things, and then hitting a wide open guy. Last week, guys got behind us. That was one of our things that we needed to clean up. I understand it was off the option, but it still has the same principle as play action. And so we're going to know where he is. He's a wonderful player. He hurt us big time last year. Much respect for him. He's one of the better tight ends in the country.
Hey, Sam, I think after Rick came out for most of the second half, Myron was the only guy who was at the spot that he'd started the game at until you started substituting because you wanted to substitute late.
Yeah.
And what does that say about the versatility? And if that's the group you have to go with, how good is it on Saturday? How good is it to have this week to have those guys mesh?
Yeah, I would think I'm not speaking for Coach Fisher, but the more game time the quarterback gets, the better off he's going to be. And that's the same way with last week. If we're going to have to go with the same line that we did last week, with them getting in there and getting at least a half of football together, is going to be big for us, as well as this week of practice. But you guys know, and I know that, prepare for practice, but the speed of the game and all those type things, even though we go good on good, it certainly changes on a Saturday afternoon. So I thought it was good to see them against some good players on last Saturday in Georgia Southern, because Georgia Southern had some good D linemen.
You mentioned you had some. Oh, go ahead, George. You mentioned you had some connections with some guys on the staff at Texas A&M. Who I was curious who those were.
Marshall Malkow is a recruiting coordinator, and he was with us at Georgia. And James Coley is their tight end coach, and he was our offensive coordinator when we were at Georgia. Both very dear friends of mine, great people. So looking forward to seeing them.
Coach, a quarter through the season, what have you learned about your team, and has anything surprised you?
Well, I don't know that I didn't think that our team would play extremely hard, but they're playing hard. Anytime you bring some guys in from the graduate transfer portal, you worry about how they gel, and they've I'm a big, it's a team. And they've really gelled to get well. And then, I was concerned about our special teams going into the season, and we didn't play well the first game, but I felt like the last two games we played much better. And so, I guess you can throw KJ in there too, wondering how he's going to be, who's going to be the starter, all that kind of stuff. But I like what's going on at quarterback, and I like that Hornsby's getting some reps in there as well to help us down the line.
Hey, Sam, obviously you guys had to go to A&M last year. Now it's back at a neutral site. How do you feel about that? And I know there's obviously still years left on the contract. Jerry Jones obviously is a huge booster and it means a lot to this program. How do you feel about having to go to A&M and then you don't get them in favor?
Yeah, I don't feel great about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I get the situation, I understand last year. But, I going over there and then go neutral, to me, go over there, but we're in a contract. I understand that, if you really look at our situation over the next 5 games, we have 3 home games and we play in this stadium once, in the next 5 games. And, I believe that if we're in this stadium, we're hard to beat because of our fans. And so, listen, everybody else think Coach is throwing out excuses. No, I'm not. We ain't played the game yet. I feel very confident we can go in and play well at Dallas Cowboy Stadium. I do. But would I rather have them in here? Yes.
Well, I think I read this or heard it or something, but didn't Jimbo try to hire you when he went to A&M and you were at Georgia? Is that right? Or am I
Well,
missing?
you'd have to ask him, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You ask him.
You know, he tried to hire you, didn't you?
Well, if I wanted to tell you, I would, but I don't.
The series is trying to ask you about the series, but the 2014 game in particular, how does that one sit with you? Because I think of all of them during this time, that one might have been the most frustrating.
I'm not positive. I think if we don't get the penalty, I think it's a 3-score game at that point, and it's late, not late, but it's later. I'm not positive. If it's not in the 3rd or maybe early 4th. And I think at that point, if we would have scored from the 1, I think J-Dub ran it down to the 1, it would have made it very difficult. And then they came back and they beat us. I mean, there's nothing to be said about it. Other than they beat us. But yeah, that was a tough one to swallow that day. We played pretty good up front, if I recall, but that's one of the 9 in a row, that they've kept that trophy and own the Razorbacks, and it's going to be hard to go get the trophy now. I'm telling you, they've got they're ranked 6 or 7, depending on what poll, for a reason, and but we'll do our best to get prepared and go down there and see what happens.
Coach, I'm curious what you've thought of Traylon Smith's play through 3 weeks, and how's he done kind of as the leader in that tailback?
I think he's playing extremely hard. He's playing beat up. He's had some different injuries, toe, some other things. He's had some different injuries, but I don't think he's been healthy yet. He is an inspiring guy in that room and on our team, and we need him to, get healthy. We need him to be a strong leader on our football team. And that's what he's doing. But he's just been a little beat up this year. He's played well. He's just been a little beat up.
Coach, you made a point after the game to mention you were glad to see Slusher get out there. Is he just now getting kind of healthy? And is he a guy that can maybe see his role expand as the season goes on?
I think Miles Slusher can be almost as good as anybody we have, on defense. And I do. He just has been injured. I mean, he's not playing right now on even any special teams because he's been injured, and this guy's got a lot of value for us. I just hoping that he can get healthy, stay healthy. He's healthy now, stay healthy. Because last year it was a high ankle, and then, this year it's some type of ham, quad, whatever it may be. And if he can get healthy, he's a really good football player, and I think all of you will see that. Thanks, everybody.